which is my fitness journey. And I do want to start off by saying, and I just end up not loving it. It's either like too long, too short, too detailed, not enough detailed. I've tried like writing things out and kind of going by that, but I end up editing it and then I don't love it myself. I can't even get through it, so I don't want to put those kind of videos out. But I have recently posted a picture on Instagram. It was a transformation picture, and so many people reached out to me asking me if I could make this video. A lot of people assumed that I was just skinny when I was growing up, and then once I got into fitness, my goal was to build muscle, but I actually started off the complete opposite. I was quite overweight, and that is where we're going to start this video. So I'm going to go straight from my memory, from my heart. I don't have anything written out. I'm just going to make this video like more of a story from things that I remember and everything that I went through. So if it's not super organized, if I miss a few things, just forgive me, but I just really want to get this video out there for anyone who is or was in the same position that I am today, or was back then. Anyway, for anyone who can relate to this video, and maybe someone can find it helpful or motivational, inspirational, hopefully I'm able to help at least a few people with this video. So I'm going to take you guys back to my childhood. I never had issues with appetite. I would always finish like my friends' food at school. My parents always tell me that I had zero problems eating. I also grew up in Ukraine up until the age of 10, which is when I moved here, but I grew up with my grandparents who absolutely loved to feed me. It was like their favorite thing to do, so I was always on the chubbier side when I was a kid. And then I moved to the United States when I was 10 years old, and that is when I was introduced to McDonald's and like all the fast food chain restaurants, which was so new and different to me. I don't know if I have any pictures from like back then. I think they're all at my mom's house in Chicago, but if I do have some, I will throw them on the screen for you guys, and I will continue doing that throughout this video, just so you guys can get a perspective of like what I looked like and stuff. But where was I saying? Oh, I was talking about McDonald's. So that was my guilty pleasure. Because I moved to the US and I didn't have a lot of friends, I didn't really speak English all that well, food became a comfort to me, and I would always like beg my parents, just please could we go to McDonald's? I just want, you know, the burgers and the french fries and all that stuff. It would just make me feel good. And that kind of helped me cope with my situation at that time, which was wanting to move back. I was not happy to be in the United States. I was missing my friends, my family, people who I grew up with, and it was really difficult. A lot of you might be a little bit confused. I have made a video before talking about my move to the United States and why I lived with my grandparents and stuff up until the age of 10, so I will have that link down below so you could watch it. But basically growing up, I did not eat healthy. I did not have any desire to eat healthy. Now moving on to like middle school. So at that point, I had already kind of learned English. I had made friends. My mom wanted me to go do swimming and stuff like that, and you know, I was like, okay, I'll do it, just because I had nothing better to do and my friends were doing it, so I was like, let's just do it. That made me lose a little bit of weight, and because my energy expenditure was going up, I was always busy, we weren't eating as much. Because of all those factors in middle school, I did lose a little bit of weight that I had before from, you know, my emotional eating problems. My cat is currently pooping, so we're gonna take a second to let him do his thing. I apologize. Anyway, moving on. So I get into high school. I really vividly remember a lot of the things that happened in high school, and I feel like this is where I'm going to be able to actually go into detail of things. Freshman year, I joined the swim team. I also joined the water polo team. I was really active. I was eating crap food like, you know, pizza and cookies at lunch. We had these amazing cookies. They actually said that they put mayo in them, and that's why they were so good in the cafeteria. I loved that stuff. And even though I was on the swim team and on the water polo team, I loved food. Like, my love for food grew so much. And I think entering high school, and because people started forming cliques and different friend groups and stuff, I wasn't able to like figure myself out. I wasn't sure where I fit in exactly. I had a few good friends, but I still didn't feel like I belonged. And once again, I turned to food for comfort, because it was always something in my life that I knew would make me feel good. And that whole year I would continue to eat the exact same way. My mom would pack me like healthy lunches, and I would just throw that away and eat my pizza, or if they were having Panda Express or those cookies that I just talked about, that would basically make up my entire diet. And then I would go home, and usually I would actually come home after practice and I would be starving, so I would just have like anything I could find in my fridge, you know, spaghetti or sandwiches or whatever. I would make it all. So then I would say sophomore year was pretty similar to freshman year. Nothing really changed, but my parents started to get a little bit concerned. My mom would take me to the doctor, and they would always tell me that my cholesterol is too high. That was one thing I remember, like, through my entire high school. My mom is a nurse, my dad is a doctor, he's a family physician right now, and they were really worried about me because they knew that, like, once you form these kind of habits, it's really hard to break them. So they would always like make comments, and my mom would try and like make me eat healthy food and pack me healthy lunches and make me healthy breakfast. I remember feeling so like mad about that. I was just like, leave me alone. I'm in high school, like, don't try to control what I eat. And that would make me almost like lash out even more, because like anytime she'd make me anything healthy, I would just like throw it to the side or throw it away or not want to eat it, and I would always go for something else. So in a way, it made me like resent them and resent the idea of eating healthy even more. And that is how sophomore year went by. Now, junior year, the beginning of junior year, I remember it is when I was at my heaviest. I think I was 5'5", first of all, that was my height, and my weight was around 160 pounds, or like 158 to 160 pounds. Now, I remember really vividly that at the beginning of my junior year, I tried hard to lose weight, and I would, do those typical diets, like the diets that I would find on Instagram or Pinterest, the eat like a cucumber and an egg a day or crazy stuff like that, and that never lasted. It never lasted longer than like, I don't know, a week. And I just felt so uncomfortable in my own body. It was also junior year, when you have really good looking friends, and it just makes you super hyper aware of like what you look like, and it's an unfortunate thing, but it really is. And it was very difficult for me to like walk up a flight of stairs. I don't remember if I quit the swim team at that point or if I didn't. I was still doing water polo because I really loved it, but swimming was super hard for me. Like, I could never move up to varsity in that because my endurance was just bad, and I did not feel good at all. Like, I would always feel sluggish, and like I wanted to sleep all the time. I would have that like huge line to the pizza and the cookies and the chips or whatever, and then I would literally be like falling asleep in class. So that was why I tried so many different diets. I would just kind of research them online and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing today, the grapefruit diet. We just eat grapefruit, and not in any way sustainable, but I would try them all. Nothing was working. I would just give up after a week or two or even 3, and because I didn't see progress and because it was awful. I would feel awful, like I'd be hungry all the time, and I was like, I'm not doing this to myself. So at this point, Omar and I were already dating, and in high school, as you guys know, there's like homecoming dances and turnabout, and then you have prom. And I remember it was turnabout time. I had this like green dress that I absolutely loved, or I loved online, and then I, wore it and I didn't feel comfortable in it. So I came home from the dance and I was like, you know what? Prom is soon. It was like a couple months after that, and I was like, I am going to make it my goal to lose this weight, to commit to a healthier lifestyle, and that's it. Like, it was like the next day I woke up, I ended up going to the gym. It was my first time going to the gym, like in the longest time ever. I ran on the treadmill for like 30 minutes, and I did some abs. At that point, I was like also following a bunch of like fitness accounts, not any fitness accounts that I would ever recommend to follow. It was like, do 30 crunches every time you eat something kind of thing. But either way, it gave me exercise ideas in my head, and I knew that I had to do cardio in order to lose weight. So that was my plan. After that workout, I vividly remember like going to the grocery store and getting a bunch of fruits, Greek yogurt, oatmeal. This is where things get a little bit interesting, because I did not have a very, like straightforward, like good start to my fitness journey. It was super rocky, and I'm gonna tell you guys why.